This is part 2 of the Dark Horde episode 20. We had complete technical mishap. It was crazy. So if you're listening to this on iTunes, on YouTube, or anywhere else, guess what? This is part 2. So you just came from the first part. This is part 2. And like I said earlier, my special guest today is Addy, which apparently you have an explanation by why things went crazy.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. Yes, I do. So, hi. I guess I'll just introduce myself then.
Yeah,
right?
let's get a quick intro, but we're going to dive more into it. We just need to know what happened, Addy. What went down? This was just crazy.
Okay, guys. So, hello. My name is Addy, also known as the Sagittarius Witch. I just consider myself a witch, but I also fall into the categories of tarot reader, healer, medium, and much, much more. I am also an electrical witch. I found this out very, very recently. I play a lot into electrical energy and technology. I also have quite a few crystals that do the same thing, so it just kind of overly enhances my power. I don't mean to break things, but I definitely broke the podcast. So I apologize.
Yeah, and I was just explaining to her that last night we had the Dark Horde episode where we had like 5 or 6 people on at the same time. And I was like, what in the heck is going on? This is bananas. But Addy, I want to welcome you to the podcast, the Dark Horde. And before we get into the things that you do, your gift, because as I've been posting everywhere on social media, your mediumship, you also read tarot cards, and you're into crystals.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
crystals,
I am.
Yeah, crystals are, I don't know, there's just something almost mystical about them that I want to find out about. But before we get into all that, I need to know about you. And my first question for you is, when did you realize that you would, well, I don't even know if you knew that you're going to be the Sagittarius Witch, but when did you know that you had gifts?
Wow, that's a really good question. So long ago, I feel. I was very, very young. I could see ghosts when I was really young. I could speak to spirits when I was really young. I think the first instance of me knowing about any kind of power, but obviously I was too young to understand that it was power. I thought this was normal. Was when my great-grandmother passed away. I knew that she was going to pass away the night that she did. She came to me in a dream, and she gave me lots of hugs, and we had a whole conversation, and she explained to me how, this happens, that these shells that we have don't stay with us forever. And she said she's not going to leave me. So I was very confused. I woke up very confused, and I woke up to the news that she had passed on. And that was probably the first instance of me having any kind of metaphysical power. However, my mom practices Santeria, and I've just been around magic for a really long time between, spiritual realm and this physical realm. So since I was really young, probably like 4 or 5 years old.
So tell me about this because, when I was a kid as well, like I always see things, not gonna lie. But that was scared
Yeah.
the living bejeebies out of me. That was like a scary. It really is. Like if you don't know what it is, it's scary. Were you ever scared
Yeah.
back in the day?
Okay, yeah. There's this one time where it was me, my mom, and someone else was in the house, and we were all just hanging out. And I saw this little girl run to the room. I have a little sister, so I was like, okay, like stop messing around with me. I was in the kitchen, so I saw her run from the kitchen to the room, and I was like, I see you. Like stop trying to mess around with me. And my mom was like, who are you talking to? And I was like, my sister. Like she just ran to the room, and she was like, your sister's not here. Like your sister's at her grandma's house for the weekend. And I was like, oh. That was really freaky because that was one of my first experiences of actually seeing a fully formed other person rather than just a shadow or hearing something. That was like I saw a whole ass person. And so for it to be a little girl that looked almost like exactly like my sister and for that to not have been her freaked me out. But that was probably the only experience that really freaked me out.
Really? Yeah, like I've seen some stuff that just was, I don't know. Like it really changes your perspective on things. You know what I mean? And I guess for everyone is not, good, bad, or indifferent. There's some people who are not moved by it either way. But there's some people who like they get that experience and they totally just want to shy away from it. And then I guess there's the other side is you because you embraced it.
Yeah, well, it was always very normal for me. So for me to have started talking about it to other people in ways like I didn't full on open up, but, for me to say like, oh, do you ever, hear people talking to you? They're like, no, not unless you're crazy. And I'm like, oh yeah, me too. So I didn't realize that it wasn't normal. When you grow up and it's that normal to you, like you don't really think that you have a gift or that, or that there are ghosts or that they're good or bad spirits. You're just like, oh, this is just normal. Everyone sees this. Everyone hears this. So it was always very normal for me. So there was nothing to be afraid of until I was older, where I did learn to differentiate good and bad energies and like what they could do to you. Like one time I had this dream where I was in my room and I have bunk beds and I saw this like white creature in the middle of my room and everything started shaking. The ladder like flew up to the top bunk. And when I had gone to sleep, I was taking a nap. When I went to sleep, all the lights in my apartment were on. My mom wasn't home. My sister wasn't home. It was just me. And when I woke up, all the lights were off and I felt heavy. I felt like I was being watched. I was terrified. But that was one of the moments where I was like, okay, not all of these energies are necessarily good. So I put a glass of water under my bed. The next morning, the glass of water was gone. And water doesn't evaporate that fast, y'all. Like, it was crazy.
Now, here's the funny thing, because someone involved in Santeria told me one time that you could also use the glass under the water in order to remember your dreams.
Well, I don't know. I don't know because I don't practice Santeria. My mom does. I never really practiced any specific spirituality or like religion, for example. When I found witchcraft, what I learned is that witchcraft doesn't really have rules. It doesn't really have any set layout or guideline like a lot of religions do. So what I have learned is really more self-taught, or what I've learned from other witches. So this is very, very different from Santeria, where they have like their set gods and they have their set rules and they have very specific ways of setting up an altar for, for that specific god or deity or whatever spirit that they work with. It's very different with witchcraft. Now,
take me through this. So you had that one experience when your grandma passed away. How did Addy, how did she handle that, like through middle school and high school?
Wow, that's a really good question. So I remember in middle school, I had these two other friends, and I would, whenever we had like free time to hang out in the field where people would go running and stuff, I would tell them that I can see spirits out in this field, and they thought it was like a joke. They thought it was like a game. So we're going to pretend to, I don't know, cosplay or role play or whatever the hell the word might be for this. And I was just like, no, guys, for real, like, this is really, there's a person here. And they're like, yeah, what's the person's name? And so that was my way. Like, I tried to talk to people about it. The only person that really understood it was my mom, but my mom is very sensitive to it as well. So she was just like, yeah, just, I don't know, just deal with it. Like, she didn't really have a way to explain it because it's very normal to her too.
Right.
So my way of coping with it was honestly shutting it out for a really long time, because I didn't meet a lot of people who accepted it. I felt very alone with it. And I mean, it was shutting it out for a really long time, up until, I want to say, about a year and a half ago. That's when I finally was able to fully embrace it. Yeah.
So I was thinking you were like going to like gym class, pull the tarot cards out, and like, hey, let me tell you about this. You know,
my God, I wish.
So what was the turning point then? Why did you a year and a half ago decide I'm just going to be about it?
Well, okay, so for a long time, I spent a lot of time trying to like dive into the crystal world and stuff. But, you know, there are a lot of people who don't believe in it. And I had a lot of partners that didn't believe it and made me feel very silly. They were like, you're playing with rocks. And I'm like, no, I'm not, because I can speak to crystals. Like, I can hear them. I can feel them. So I'm like, these aren't just rocks. Like, I've always been very connected to nature as well. So to be, to be in relationships where it was very, quieting you down. And then last year, I spoke to my partner and I was like, look, I feel very called to get back into my spirituality. And she was like, yeah, go ahead. She was like, I mean, if you want to play with rocks, I don't care. But she wasn't judgmental. She wasn't judgmental. And I felt like I was in a safe enough space to really dive in. And it's like, that world was waiting for me. So the moment that I dove in, it was like everything opened up, and everything that I had been shutting out was like, it just like was an instant pull. It was almost like, I don't know. I wish I had like a good way to explain that. It's like you've always been, I don't know, you've always liked chocolate, but you haven't had chocolate in years. And then you try chocolate. Oh my God, this is like my favorite thing.
Right,
and it's
exactly.
just normal to you. It's like you've always had it because you know it's your favorite thing. That's like the easiest way to explain it. But once the door opened, it was like wide freaking open.
So I guess you experienced like a lot of changes. Like, did it like make you even more sensitive to things?
It made me extremely sensitive to things, and almost like I felt like I was having some sort of existential crisis. Like, who am I? Right. Is this real? Am I making all of this up? Because at this point, I'm in my mid-20s, and I'm just like, okay, maybe this is real, maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm just like making it up, because you try to make sense of it at this point when you're like, when society tells you what you can and can't see, what you can and can't hear, what is real, what isn't real, like, you know what I mean? So it was very much like trying to understand myself and not shut myself up, because I've been so used to being shut up for so long that I was trying to do that to myself. But my spirits were like, no, it's not going to happen. Not again. So I wasn't really allowed to shut all of that out. But once I opened the doors, it was like the floodgates. I felt like a waterfall came crashing down on me, and there's just no way to swim upstream, I guess.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Yes, it makes a lot of sense. You're basically you just open the door, let everything come in. And usually, now what I've heard is usually when you try to block it out, you lose that sensitivity to it.
No. I mean, maybe for some people, but I feel like it's kind of like like metabolism almost. Some people have a faster one, some people have a slower one. If you block it out, maybe it's going to take more time for you to unlock it. For me, it was already very natural. It's been in my family for a really long time. So when I was open to it, because spirits are very respectful, like, they're dead. They don't really have a reason to, like, do anything anymore. They're like, I'm dead. There's nothing else to it. So they're just very respectful. They're like, if you don't want me in your life, I'm not going to be there. But if you want me there, I will be. So the moment that I said, okay, like, I'm open to all of you guys, it was instant, very, very sensitive to it. Some people are different. Some people do have to, like, work it out like a muscle. Other people, it's just second nature,
Have you ever walked into, let's say, Publix, because it's Florida. Do you ever walk into Publix and you see somebody at the cash register and someone tells you in your ear, hey, tell her I'm still here. Something like that, where you're like, do I tell her? What do I do?
Yes.
Okay. See, there you
That
go.
happens all the time. It's like
Really?
anywhere that I go, it's like I'll see, for example, like an ancestor, or I'll see someone's dead grandma, or like, great, great, great uncle. I don't know. And they're just like, hey, like, let them know. And I'm like, I can't. Like, that's not my place. I can't cross boundaries. Like, this person's going to think I'm crazy.
Right. I know.
That's exactly what it's like. Yeah. Like, everywhere. With strangers, I'm like, So sometimes their spirit, or their, even like your higher self, because that's a whole other thing. But, I'll hear like, just compliment them or let them know to have a nice day. They're having a really bad day. And that's another reason why I'm definitely an introvert, but I'm super, super like a social butterfly when I go out. Like, I love making people feel good because that's just what they need at the time. And I know the difference between someone who needs it and who doesn't because of the spirits that are with them that they don't know about.
So now we're going to disclose what we talked about bugs in a second. But when did you find out that you had this connection with pets, animals too?
Oh gosh, this is really fun. This is probably one of my favorite things to talk about. So literally anyone who's ever met me knows that I am just such an animal lover. I've been an animal lover since I was a kid. My mom's allergic to like cats and bunnies and things with that kind of dander and fur. But I've always been the person to bring home, homeless animals. And I worked at a vet's office for a year and a half, almost 2 years before. Like, once I started reading tarot cards, I dropped everything. I was like, I'm quitting my job. I have nothing else that I want to do. This is all I want to do.
Right.
And so...
Well, kudos for you. That's great that you did that, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Well, it was like, it's like when you know. It's like when you find that one thing that you love, it's like nothing else feels right. Nothing else wakes you up. Nothing else is exciting to do. So when I started reading tarot cards, like, it just felt so right. Nothing else felt right. So working at the vet's office, you come across a lot of animals. Mm-hmm. But it's like I could hear them. Like, I knew what was wrong with them before the veterinarian knew, and it's so terrible because vets are like, pets can't talk to you. They can't tell you what's wrong. So you have to really like run tests. And I'm like, but I know what's wrong and you guys won't listen to me. But then again, that was me also I still felt crazy. I was like, there's no way that I know what's wrong with this pet when like the professional doesn't know until like tarot cards, and then like I learned that I'm actually able to talk to animals. So that was a whole thing, and I actually recently learned that I can like full on have these discussions with animals, like maybe a month ago.
Okay, so this is let me just let people in on it. So when you first sent me the email and you had that down there, I was thinking, well, that's interesting. You don't hear that very much, or at least I've never come across folks that say that they can tune in to your pet and stuff like that. And so we started the conversation, and then I said, before the podcast, and then the error, and then the second podcast. And so I was like, yeah, Bugs probably needs a reading. And what did you say?
I said, I tuned into Bugs earlier today, and Bugs is dying for treats. Why is it that Bugs wants treats? Like, Bugs was running around me. I knew that Bugs was a small dog, but I thought that Bugs was like a pug or an English bulldog. And I was just like, oh, like, this dog really wants treats. What's going on? And so I was telling you that Bugs really wants treats, and why is that? Yeah,
and the funny thing is, I don't think I've told anyone, especially not on the podcast, because, Bugs has an image as a UFO hunter, so I don't want to tarnish that. But it turns out that Bugs went to the vet about a month ago, and the word is from the vet, which I think they need to check her license. But the word is from the vet is that he needed to lose weight. So we cut back on his food, and he is a snack hound. If you go anywhere near his snacks, at least 5 feet, he will go in there and sit next to you and watch you to see how close you get to it, because he's expecting something. And I was like, I was shocked when you said that, because I was like, geez. And my wife complains about it all the time. Like, he literally will follow her into the kitchen to see if he can get a snack out of her. And once she leaves the kitchen, then he just goes on and does his own thing. It's hilarious. But you hit it right on the money. That is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, Bugs really wants treats. Even if you give him, you can maybe give him peanut butter, or you can give him, some dogs really like carrots or celery. You can even give him like frozen bananas if it's like a hot day. If it is because he's too fat, which does happen. Your animals can become overweight, especially smaller ones. They'll get pain in the hips because of, their stubbier legs.
Right.
So yeah, you can definitely give him like fruit. You can give him blueberries, strawberries, watermelon, and bananas. Just make sure the watermelon doesn't have seeds if you want to give him something that's a little healthier. But yeah, he really wants treats, man.
He does.
What did I do wrong?
He loves treats. And here's something funny. We did groceries this week, and I swear to you, I picked up about a dozen different treats that he has up there. I'm sure he didn't see them, but they're up there.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you, he's a treat whore, to be honest. And then the other thing too is that now you mentioned that there's a treat that I have not been giving him that he wants, and through our technical debacle, I was thinking about it, and I was like, now we used to give him this pill when we lived in Dallas, and but we had to wrap it in something. So when we adopted him from a rescue place, and they used to tell us just to wrap it in cheese. That is the only thing that we don't give him anymore. But when I tell you, he will gulp that cheese up like it was crazy. Like I literally, he would eat it so fast. I was, damn, let me just give you another slice of cheese because I don't want you to be hungry. Yeah, that is just hilarious.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
you can give him tiny pieces of cheese, like if you're making yourself a sandwich, or even if you have string cheese that you're eating. That would make him really happy. But yeah, there was something that he wanted that he hasn't had in a long time.
No, Addy, he won't leave until he gets that second slice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I can't help you there, man. Maybe you give it to him and portion it out. Like maybe one day out of every couple of weeks, you give him 2 slices of cheese.
Yeah, there you go.
It will definitely make him fart really gross, but he will love it.
Oh, he does not need help with that. Let me tell you. So there you go. That was it, and that again is a testament. And that's the one thing I say. If whenever a psychic is on, you call it like it is. That is a testament to your ability, because I don't even talk about that on the podcast, and I really don't talk about that with anybody else. And you hit it right on the money.
I feel like I don't know if this happens with other psychics or, mediums or whatever, but I still, to this day, am sometimes like, is this really real? Like, is what I'm hearing real? Is what I'm feeling real? Is what I'm seeing real? And then, it's just a constant confirmation from the people that I do readings from, the people that I tune into their animals, or I do what's called like spirit contracts. We'll break those contracts and stuff it's like it's a whole realm of madness of things that I can do. And I'm just like, is this even real? I feel like I'm playing make-believe. You know what I mean? Like I'm a kid and I just made up a castle and I'm in the castle, but I'm not. And so I want to say last weekend, me and a group of people, we did this class called Pillows and Portals, which is amazing. Highly recommend it. If you guys need to know what that is, literally just pop onto my Instagram at the Sagittarius Witch, and you guys will know about it. One of my closest friends, she's also a very talented witch. But we portaled into space. Like we went to space, and we grabbed a star, and that star helped us be able to astral project and have more control within our dreams. And it was this whole experience, and I felt cold. Like my feet went numb. I couldn't feel the tips of my fingers. And then, we wake up from the meditation and we're talking about it. And I'm like, okay, but everyone else experienced those feelings. So I can't be wrong. I can't be making it up.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about astral projection. What has been your experience with that?
Oh man, astral projection. Okay, so it's always something that I've wanted to do, but not something that I realized that I have been doing for a really long time. So with astral projection, some people say that you should do it when your eyes are open. Some people say that you can do it when your eyes are closed. Again, witchcraft doesn't have rules. You really just make up your own fucking rules. And so for me, astral projection happens when I'm fully asleep, eyes closed, whatever. I will go into different dimensions. I will go to different planets. I will go into like different past lives. Like I'll talk to my dead family members. I'll go and meet up with friends that I've never met in person. I'll leave like notes or letters or messages for them that they'll wake up, and I'll call them and be like, hey, so what's your dream about? And they're like, yeah, I got this message. And I'm like, yeah, that was me.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And so it's, oh my gosh, it's awesome. It's if you believe that you can do it and you set the intention before you go to bed that you can do that, yeah, you can definitely do it. Also, yes, I do talk to aliens. I 1,000 believe that my best friend is an alien. Like, it's insane. But
hey,
yes, I do talk to aliens.
What kind of an alien is she?
Oh, man, we don't know. We don't know. But she is 100% an alien. She's this wonderful, wonderful human being. Her name is Charlotte. If you guys need to find her on Instagram, she is at the Renaissance Witch. Her kind of powers are insane. Like she full on portals into these like Greek temples, and when she does energy healing work on you, she uses paint and colors, and it's just this very poetic experience for you and for her, and she's insane. Like from the moment I met her, like the abilities that she has, like she can read your thoughts. Okay, she's insane. I love her. Can't talk about her enough. But yeah, if you guys need to find her on Instagram, she would be really great to bring on to the show too.
So listen, GameVid, actually you're in the live chat now with the crew, with the guys that are in their lives. So GameVid has a question for you. I'm not sure if he wants to call in or not. But GameVid, if you want to call in to pose your question, you can absolutely call 972-290-1329. And that goes for anyone, actually, who wants to call in and ask away, because Addy is ready. She's primed
guys,
for
I don't
this.
I'm always on. I think that's the difference between like modern psychics and modern mediums and stuff, is that we're so connected to the internet, we're so connected to like technology, that it's not necessary. It's not really like the generation before, where they may need a break, they may need to like really get into that space. We're just like we're always on. You know, it's intense. We're like highly connected, but it's because we obviously grew up around a whole different set of things, and we grew up with a whole different set of colleagues. Like I can connect with a whole community of witches because they are disposable to me via the internet and hashtags and stuff, whereas the generation before me didn't have that. They just had to read books and really like figure it out on their own, whereas like we get to have our own community and get to connect with other people and stuff and learn from one another.
So I think we have a caller. It might be GameVid. Who just called?
Manny Moonraker, this is GameVid. How you doing?
Hey, GameVid. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
And Addy is here to amaze you.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in today.
Oh, of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So I do have a question. I've been experiencing a lot of stuff here lately within the past 3 weeks. I was wondering, what got me is you were talking about that your best friend is an alien. Now, that happens to pertain to my question is, I'm wondering if an alien's trying to contact me or if somebody's trying to contact me from that realm.
Okay. What have your experiences been like?
This is pretty crazy. Well, first it started with seeing a devil dog. I think that's what the norm called it. It looked like a wolf with red eyes that was hit by a car on the side of the road, and it would actually disappear from day to day. It would show up, disappear, and then show up in a different location, and then disappear the next day, and then show up and reappear. And then after that, I heard a strange grinding noise passing a field pretty much in the same location where the dog was. And then the same day, a week later, I saw a creature that I can't explain in the ditch, and I don't really want to go into detail about it because I don't have any video proof of that. But
right.
And then the following week, this Monday, I saw a craft driving to work. It actually looked like an eagle, and then it turned into almost a cylinder type shape.
Wow.
UFO thing, and it was zipping right, next to me. At first, it was flying like an eagle as I was driving 65 miles an hour down the highway, and it was just flying like an eagle, just like not a care in the world. And as soon as I turned my head, it transformed into a cylinder shape, and it just started darting back and forth, almost faster than you could see it. Like it would show up, ahead of me, and then all of a sudden it was behind my window a little bit, and then it would be ahead of me, but it was just, it was like that fast.
Yeah.
So with that said, all the encounters that I've had in the past, I'd say 3 weeks now, I was curious as to maybe why I'm having these sightings, or if anything, if it means anything. Or
I just pulled a couple of cards. So the first card that popped up was an oracle card. So there's a difference between tarot cards and oracle cards. For me, they're all just like, they just tell me like, hey, pick me. I want to give you the answer. So I pulled an oracle card. It says imagining more. The imagery on it is really beautiful. Maybe one day I'll be able to like hop on video chat so that you guys can see what these cards look like. You guys can really get like the feeling and the emotion behind the imagery, which really speaks. Imagining more is a girl in a field, and she's looking out into this open sky, this open field full of like, it looks like high, like corn stalk or something, which is really wild. And then I also got a card that says conjure and divination. So what's going on here is whatever is trying to reach you is trying to ask you to open up your imagination, and maybe like when you say something like, I don't want to explain what this creature looks like because I don't have proof. The only proof that you need is like you seeing it. And so that's a message that's really coming through, is being able to say like, I saw this and I don't care if anybody needs proof or not. Like, I believe in this. Also, this is probably an alien trying to contact you, but you also have to know that aliens can come through as animals. They can come through as like spiritual beings because they're not really from this world. They can take different form. They can kind of hide in the shadows of things. Like they're only seen if they want to be seen. Let's be completely honest.
Right.
And and like if you saw it,
I have my kid running around. Just please, one second.
Oh, that's totally okay.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, take your time. It's totally fine. I have like 6 dogs, so they're always barking and going crazy. So you guys might hear me get interrupted by them. I apologize. But
they want treats. They want treats.
They do. My dogs are like they love blueberries, so it's a different kind of treat. Anyway,
they're like healthy. Jeez.
They are. So you just have to, whatever is trying to contact you is trying to take form in ways that are more realistic, like a dog or or an eagle or a bird of some sort. Because when they're trying to contact us, whether it be a spirit, a deity, like I work with Loki, I work with the Egyptian goddess Bath. When they are trying to contact you, they will either come through in your actual animals, they'll come through as animals, they'll just come through as in any way that you can understand.
Okay.
So, whatever this is trying to get you to like believe in what it is that you're seeing. So like, it's trying to contact you, but the only way it's going to come through is if you fully allow it.
Okay. So is it a good entity then, whatever it is?
I'm not getting anything negative from it, but what it's trying to tell you is personal to you, so it's not giving me a message. Let me see, hold on. What is it showing me here? Do you like to cook?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm getting something with like kitchen magic. So maybe create like your favorite meal, or I'm really trying to tap into this. It's something in the kitchen. maybe you love to cook and you haven't been cooking as much. I don't know. Whatever this being is that's trying to contact you is like it wants you to believe in yourself a little bit more. Like really open your imagination to these things more than you already do. Because the fact that you're asking me about aliens already is a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's also, I know it's caring because it wants you to treat yourself better. Like it wants you to like take care of yourself, cook for yourself more, like find joy in the kitchen. Like I don't know why I keep hearing that. Find joy in the kitchen. I don't know what that's about. I don't know. Let me see. And you can also ask it to come through in your dreams. If you are very sensitive to your dreams, you can ask it to come through in your dreams and see if you get any kind of messages there, and just wake up. The moment you wake up, write down whatever you remember. It doesn't have to be a full story, but whatever you remember, you can always piece together like a puzzle.
Okay. I know I did have a recent dream. It actually seemed really real. I work nights, and so I'm laying in bed during the day, you know, and I happened to. It seemed like I woke up, and I swear I woke up, and there was a girl in my bed.
Yeah.
And I said, "Who are you?" And she says, "I have some questions for you." And she was asking who my wife was, who my kid is, why do I go into work so late and come home? You know, why do I work so late?
Jeez.
Why do I come home so early? She was asking me all these questions, and then I said, "Who are you?" And all of a sudden, my alarm was going off, and I was waking up.
Wow.
But it was the strangest thing about that was as she was talking to me, she was actually like holding my arm, and I could feel it, like it was actually happening.
It's definitely like she's so all 4 cards that I have in front of me are all women. Like all the imagery comes out as women. Imagining more as a woman in a field. I got conjure, which is, you know, a woman conjuring up like past spirits. Kitchen magic, it's a woman creating potions in the kitchen. And then divination, which is a woman with different tarot cards and crystals and stuff, tapping into those energies. So keep trying to talk to her in the dream world. She might, whatever is coming through again in a way that you would feel most comfortable discussing with, like, or seeing. They're not going to come to you in a way that's going to freak you out and make you reject them. They're going to come through to you in a way that you're going to accept them and actually be able to hear the messages without being completely disturbed. So whatever is coming through is a very caring energy and wants you to take care of yourself more and wants you to take care of your family more and like not just survive but thrive. So you don't like, you know, like not work and kill yourself and not really enjoy your life or your family, but maybe find work that's going to allow you to enjoy both work and putting food on the table and also enjoying time with your family while you're around, because we're beings that don't know when our life is going to end. Maybe it's COVID. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? We just never know when it's going to be over.
So, Addy, I know that GameVet also has, I won't say experiences, but he knows there's something going on in his home. Do you see anything for him in that area?
In your home? Hold on.
Yeah. I've been, a while back I was hosting ghost hunt live shows on YouTube, and we've actually captured some audio clips of actually, it sounded like a female responding to different people. One responded to Manny here on the show. One responded, and one actually copied exactly what the other radio host was saying. And he was saying something like, "It's amazing." And all of a sudden, just after he said that, you heard a female say, "It's amazing."
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay, that's really cool. Oh, man. Okay, so maybe... oh, wow. Okay, so whatever. Okay, maybe you are being contacted by aliens. But this woman... Oh, this woman is from a past life. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Was she in your dream? In your dream, was she brunette?
Kind of.
Do you remember what
kind
she
of a lighter. Yeah, I remember exactly what she looked. I don't know if she was tall or not. Like I said, she was basically. I was laying on my back, and she was on, laying on her front, and her head was right about, where my upper chest is.
Hey,
And
what the hell? This is a family show. What are you doing? I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I mean, she was just fully clothed and all that stuff, and I don't know. I just thought it was very weird that she was asking me all these questions.
Did you tell her?
Grace.
Did you tell her?
Yeah.
Oh, so sweet. Okay, yeah. So, okay, she's from a past life. Wow.
Well, really, that would
Hold on.
almost explain why she's trying to find out what the heck he's up to right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that
what-
makes sense.
Yeah, that's what all the questions were about. What are you doing?
This feels very like almost like Western times, I feel, and she passed really early on. So she's young. She's younger. She's like maybe like 27 or 28. She's young.
Oh man, you know what's really crazy about this is you kind of sparked a light in my head.
Yeah.
When I was really young, I swear I had a dream that that my girlfriend got in a car accident or something like that, and I said that I'd always find you. And this was back when I was really young, and I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Wow.
Maybe that was real.
really.
Maybe that is real from a past life or something.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got really emotional. Ah, I'm not gonna cry.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, this is the hardest thing with like tapping into these times is because I feel it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so so sorry. Okay, so in this past life, you lost her really early, and like she had a child, but because she passed early, the child passed with her. Oh, so she was pregnant. Which is why she came into your dream and is like, "What's your daughter's name?" And you know what I mean, and your wife's name.
Right.
If your wife or your girlfriend. And it's very possible that she's like, she just wants to make sure that you're happy and that you're not wasting this life because you didn't get to fully enjoy that life with her.
I'll leave it alone. Okay. Grace.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Super emotional and sweaty. Gross. Oh, okay. Okay, guys. I'm just going to drink water and push through. Oh, okay. No, she's a really good she's just trying to like watch over you as much as she can so that you don't don't let this life just pass you by. That past life was very like traumatic and emotional for you. So like maybe this life you're trying to overcompensate for that, is making sure that your loved ones are super taken care of so that it's like you don't ever feel like you lost them or let them down in any way.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
That's crazy.
Well, there you go. So now you know. You have a visitor from the past hanging out in your bedroom.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
want to waste
welcome.
any more of your time so somebody else can call in.
All right. Thank you, Game Vet.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Okay, bye.
Wow.
Now that's fascinating. A past life visitor. That's kind of freaky.
Yeah, it happens a lot, actually. Oh gosh. Yeah. Well, the more you guys learn about like your past lives and stuff like that, the more you realize that like in this life, for example, I had a past life where I was so afraid of ever dying because the life that I had before that, I died very early. So the life following that, I was just a drunk who didn't do anything. Like
hey, that's a good life.
I mean, I guess, but I didn't really get to explore or do anything. I was so afraid of dying because I died super early on in the life prior. And so now in this life currently, I sometimes I'm like, am I doing enough? And then sometimes I'm like, I'm doing too much. And it's because both of those lives are like clashing. It's like they're trying to find their balance now with me.
Yeah. We just had a new caller in. Who is on the line?
Hey, it's Norm.
Hey, Norm, what's going on? I guess you have a question for Addy.
Actually, I do. Hi, Abby.
Hi.
Oh, it's Addy. Addy, A-D-D-Y. No.
Addy. Got it.
Okay, everyone calls me.
Sorry, I'm a drummer. I got bad hearing.
It's
But
okay.
wait, you can call her the spawn of Nightmare if you want.
I saw that. It looks like Kit and me aren't the only duo in the daughter-father duo in the chat anymore. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
My question is this: really, back in 1992, I had an X-ray done and it found something
That's
weird.
when I was born. Sorry.
Oh.
And I was just curious if because there was something weird in the X-ray, and I've never been able to get an answer to it. So I'm kind of looking at all the avenues, and this seems to be like one of the best ones right now. So I was wondering if you had any kind of insight through your cards on what might have gotten in my body to produce, an image on an X-ray like this.
It was in your shoulder. I know because I heard that was the only podcast that I listened to the whole podcast before coming on because my what's it called? My dad told me about it and I was like, okay, well I'd like to at least know more or less like the energy in the podcast before I come on. And I just so happened to hear your story, and so it's crazy to be talking to you. That's amazing. It's in your shoulder, and it moves with your shoulder, and you've never had any surgeries done, and it's just, what is it, like a piece of metal or something in your shoulder, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's actually implanted in the bicep muscle. It's directly in my bicep muscle.
Okay. That is okay. That's wild.
It was when I found out. I was stunned. I was like, okay, this is weird. The doctor, he didn't know how it got there. He didn't understand it or anything. So
this is really glad she did not listen last night. No, I'm a very, very busy businesswoman, and so I can't catch up to the podcast all the time. But I did catch up to that one, and I was so fascinated. And so many different things came through when I was listening to that podcast, even without the cards that I just pulled. Like I tried putting them back into the deck, and the same three just fell out again. So I guess these are the ones that will come through for you. So, but during that podcast, first off, I got chills. That's insane. But secondly, I don't feel like you were definitely not abducted. That didn't happen.
Okay.
Oh darn.
In case you guys
no, that's fine.
Like they can do stuff without abducting you. In case you guys didn't know, aliens can do stuff to you without abducting you. Just some fun facts. Don't think that you're going to leave your house or see some crazy, message in a cornfield and then be abducted. It's not going to happen. They can do these things to you while you're sleeping because when you go to sleep, your soul, your spirit, it leaves your body and goes to a different realm, okay? So when you guys wake up, sometimes you guys will wake up even from a full night's sleep and feel really groggy. Does anyone in here feel that? When you guys wake up, you're like, oh, like I even though I slept 8 hours, I completely feel like I'm not here. Like I'm still kind of in a dreamlike state.
Oh, all the time after a good bout with vodka. Yeah.
After a great pacha, for sure.
But so think about that feeling when you guys wake up that way. It's because your soul has gone on some party, some adventure. You've gone somewhere. Sometimes you don't even remember your dreams because you were in such a deep state of like ascension, or like you were just going somewhere out of this universe.
Yeah. On that point, just to mention real quick, since COVID started, I haven't had a single dream that I can remember. I don't know where they all went. I used to have really good dreams, but now it's just nothing. Also, I thought I mentioned I'm also a little bit of a study on the metaphysical too. So I love the whole metaphysical realm.
Oh, well, just so you guys know, I do coaching to open up like your third eye and help you guys out, all that stuff. So if you guys want to know more about that, please let me know. Coaching is probably one of my favorite things, and I learn a whole lot from you guys because you all have different abilities and different things to connect to. So that's really fun. But what happened was your soul or your spirit, your energy, like portals, right? You portaled into like a different universe. Maybe this was very early on in your life. Maybe like this happened to you like before you were even born. Maybe this happened to you like right before this X-ray. But you portaled, and these other beings, we'll call them aliens because we don't know what to call them. It's not like they have any kind of like a historical name, but they have been around for a very long time. And you portaled to them, and it was like they were trying to teach you more. They were trying to like show you more, but it was such a blip in time that they were like, okay, this is the only way that we're going to be able to continue to contact you, and you agreed to it. They put this piece into you, and somehow it manifested into like your physical body.
Wow.
But that is their way of continuing to stay connected to you because you agreed to have them communicate with you. You agreed to have them show you more things and like open up to like more information. And so that was the only way for you guys to stay connected because it was out of this particular universe. Like you went somewhere else that we've never seen before.
Yeah, that sounds like something that Norm would do.
So, Norm, here's a question for you. And I think I even asked you this before, but when you found this in the X-ray, and kind of speaking to what Addy was saying, did that spark an additional interest in the topic of UFO aliens and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, well, it got me interested in the whole abduction thing and such like that. But like I said, I've never had a memory of an abduction or, seen anything in my room or anywhere else for that matter. And lately now I'm starting to see a lot of, unidentified, things in the night sky that, that they don't have an immediate impact on me from what I can tell. Excuse me. And I can't say that. I believe it was later on, maybe a little earlier. It was all X-Files. Totally into the X-Files.
Right.
It's just one of those moments where you get to spend with your mom on a Friday night and you just enjoy something together. So I mean the whole aliens for me personally is just factual stuff. I need to know what the agendas are. I don't know why I have that that drive, but and I'm a pretty lazy person too, so it's not like I'm really working hard at it, but
yeah.
I guess I'm one of those people, if it's meant to be, it will be, so to speak.
Right. So, Addy, what can he do to kind of resolve that need to know? And then he knows he's got something there. What does he do? What can he do?
Yeah, is there a proactive thing I can do?
We'll definitely be open to more messages, be open to more communication, and instead of not working at it, you would probably need to work at it more. The dreams that you're not remembering are because you're not actively trying to remember or actively trying to communicate. So they're like you're waking up and like your soul isn't giving you that memory. Like your soul is coming back to your body, but you're just not remembering what happened. But that's probably you going back to that other universe and speaking to these otherworldly creatures and like, getting information from them that maybe like your human vessel just isn't ready to process. What happens with us a lot is if we're not completely open to all the possibilities that this world has to give us, our vessels aren't necessarily prepared. You don't our soul isn't going to sit there and be like, here, let me just dump a bunch of information on you so that then you can have like some sort of nervous breakdown and end up in like a psych ward. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I've actually had the spiritual awakening, and I realized something during those couple of years that it's a wide open area and very powerful, and it was really intimidating. The power and the strength that I felt from my meditations and such, but and actually, to be honest, I did close it. I closed that eye. And I've been, kind of afraid to open it again for some reason. So, just trying to be honest, I guess. It's embarrassing.
Of course.
Sorry, but,
yeah, no, don't be embarrassed at all. Like, I mean, for me, it was like, I had to, God, it's so crazy. Being able to like portal into like my own body and my own energy, like my chakras and stuff, and reactivate them basically. And when I went into my crown chakra, it's like the way that it looks for me is it's just like a bunch of like computer systems, and I had to plug each individual one in to open myself up to this. Which is something that I do in my coaching, is I help you guys like learn how to open that up and how to do it safely, because what happens is that we don't create a safety barrier, like a safety system. So when we open it up, it's like we're just getting all the information, the stuff that we don't want, the stuff that we do want, and like the negative junk mail that people are trying to send us.
You touching on something too, because the audio and video industry, they have a lot of wiring to do, right? And if you get those wires crossed, things just don't pan out, right? And they have backup equipment for anything that does go wrong, so to speak.
Right.
So I see what you mean. I see what you mean there on a mental, physical, spiritual level. I can totally hear that. Thank you. That's awesome.
So what happens when you portal into your spaces too is that it's however you would understand something is how it's going to be shown to you in that space. So I love video games. I love technology. I love stuff like that. So the way that my portals show themselves to me are very video game-esque, So I will see a lot of computers. I'll see wires. I'll see, like things will digitalize. Things will like come to life in pixels, For other people, like people love food. Some people's place looks like a restaurant or something. Like it really just depends on what is going to work best for you as a person and how your mind works and how your soul works to understand these things. So for me, it's just very technological, which is why I'm an electric witch. I don't know if I told you guys that. Yeah, so I broke the podcast because I'm very
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I totally broke the podcast. I didn't mean to, but it just happened. Again, I do coaching with this. I'm more than glad to answer questions if you guys have any. But
that's
how
right.
it works.
I think I will take you up on that a little bit later. The information's on the podcast, of course. Manny puts it all up there, so I can find you pretty quick. And really, I appreciate that. That helps me out a lot. So just for my own self, I need to kind of talk to my inner self. Let that thing kind of grow up again, and see where it takes me, huh?
Oof, and have some barriers set up, some protection.
Sounds exciting and fun.
Yeah, that way you don't get the junk mail, because that's what really scares us into a corner, is that junk mail that comes through that we don't need to know or that we don't need to have right now.
Right. Well, I appreciate you very much. Thank you, Manny, for having this wonderful young lady on. And I'll let the next caller get on, hopefully.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Norm.
Wow.
Ciao.
This is so cool.
It is cool. And I can almost see Norm like going through like this whole Rocky montage, like getting ready to get back and get his... Man, that is fantastic. Oh my God. You've got another caller right back up to back. Let's see who this is. Buenos dias. ¿Quién llama? Hello.
Hey, Manny. How's it going? It's Green Man.
The Green Man. So, what you got?
Well, you know me, man. Always want to see if anything out there from my boys. And since she's a animal specialist, I figured she'd be the lady to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. She's pretty good at that, let me tell you.
It's so crazy to know that I can talk to animals. How wild is that? Like as a human with like a, just like a stack of skin, like I can talk to animals. It's just so wild for me sometimes to fathom.
I wish I could.
It still blows my mind. I'm sure you could. Take me up on my coaching. I can teach you. It's thebomb.com, and it's so easy. It's easier than we think. Okay, so tell me about. Are these pups? What are we doing?
Yeah, my pups. My dad was a jerk, and he was kind of raising me to be a jerk. I caught it early, and I didn't want to run the risk of having human kids and raising a bunch of more little assholes like me, so I kind of stuck with dogs.
Oh, been there. Mm-hmm.
By the way, Addy, do you know who Tom Selleck is?
No. No. I don't know who that is.
No, we just pick on him. We think he sounds like Tom Selleck.
Oh, I don't know. Is that like from a movie? If you tell me the movie, is it like a famous person?
Oh yeah, back in the day, Harry. Back when they had thick mustaches and really hairy chests. Yeah, that's.
Okay, but what's the movie?
Oh, Magnum PI. Magnum PI.
Okay, yes, I know. Okay, so I don't know famous people by their names. I mean, fortunately, because I like to read books more than I like to, know famous people names. But I do know by movie. So, if you tell me like main character from this movie, I'll know who it is. Yeah. So cool. Okay. So they were, what was it? 2 dogs they passed. I'm assuming.
3 pups.
3 pups. Were they large? I feel like they were larger breed. Am I crazy?
1 was, 2 were Chihuahua.
Okay. Okay. So, can you give me their names? That's gonna make it significantly easier for me to tap in. Let's do one by one.
The big one was Groucho.
Groucho. Oh, that's such a cute name. Oh, okay. So the tarot card that came out for that was the devil, and so the devil speaks of releasing bad habits and bad things that we hang on to. The devil is usually like an addiction or, someone who caused like a really traumatic experience in your life, and you need to be able to release that to move forward. Groucho. Did he have like a favorite toy?
Not necessarily, but one of the Chihuahuas did.
Okay, for some reason I'm getting like a really favorite squeaky toy. It might have been like a bunny. It might have been like some sort of farm animal squeaky toy. I don't know what that is.
Booger had a plethora of toys because he would usually destroy them within a matter of hours.
Okay.
His all-time
Someone likes
was
squeaky toys. Yeah.
Yeah, his all-time favorite was a tennis ball, but he did have one stuffed toy that he didn't completely obliterate, and that was a stuffed pig.
A stuffed pig? See, farm animal. Oh my gosh.
There you go.
Dog had a thing. Okay, yeah. See, I knew it was like a farm animal, and it was like it had this squeaker in it, and it was soft. That's coming through. Hold on. What else is coming through? Like bacon treats. Did you give them bacon treats? Did you give anybody bacon treats? Did someone get bacon treats? I'm smelling bacon. Or maybe actually, maybe you gave them actual bacon.
No, they never got real bacon, but I think maybe you're getting Booger. I think maybe you're getting Booger because he was absolutely apeshit about French fries.
French fries. Okay, something fried for sure. Let me see if I can get some messages from them that they want from you, because when they are passed, it's not as easy to portal into them. So for example, Bugs is alive. I've portaled into like my dogs that are alive. When they're passed, it's much harder to get information from them, because what happens is I portal into their space, right? And dogs are just very visual, so they don't speak. They have words that they recognize from us. So that's what I can see or smell or like get a grasp on. But when they're passed, it's not like they can give me a full message. So I'm going to pull some tarot cards and see what they want to. Okay, so we got We got 9 of Pentacles. So they definitely want you to be more patient as far as maybe work goes. Maybe you're looking for like a raise, or you're looking for something that's more abundant. Maybe something with more variety in it. 9 of Pentacles. Let me see. Or maybe they want you to have more variety. Let's see. Hang on. No, nothing's coming out from this deck. Ooh. That's a lot of cards. Okay. Do you not get out much? Or do you ever, like, travel?
No.
Yeah.
I am pretty much a hermit. So the lack of variety thing, I could definitely understand.
Yeah. They want you to branch out. Okay, so I got 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, and the Star. Let's see. So 9 usually speaks of wisdom and responsibility, right? And it also speaks of, kind of like cats have like 9 lives. So it speaks of like earthly lessons and even forgiveness, selflessness, and compassion. So they definitely want you to like maybe forgive something from your past, because you got 2 9s and then you got the Star. So what the Star speaks of is like clarity after a really bad traumatic situation, or maybe like something was let go, or you experienced like a very large amount of sadness, and the Star comes right after that. It's kind of like the forest burned down because like new growth needed to happen, which, oh gosh, I just spilled all my water on my phone. Amazing. But the 9 of Pentacles speaks of not just financial abundance, but abundance in your life. So I feel like when you have dogs, they push you to be more adventurous, to go out, because that's what they need. They need to be connected to, their more, what's the word here? Their more primal selves. And so they allow you to connect to your primal self. They allow you to get out more. So they definitely want you to get out more. The 9 of Wands is kind of like, stop being scared to go out. There's nothing to be afraid of if you branch out. There's nothing to be afraid of if you experience new things. And so I wish I could show you guys the imagery. I wish there was a way for me to like post a picture of what I'm seeing. I'll keep these out. If you want a picture of them, just hit me up on Instagram and I will send you a picture of what they look like. The imagery is really powerful. So the 9 of Wands are those lanterns that you light up with, that it's like gas or something, and you like let it up into the sky, and it's like a whole traditional thing. Like, it's really beautiful when hundreds of people do it, and it just lights up the sky with these like lanterns. So that came up for you, and they're trying to like light up your path. Like, hey, it's okay. You can go on. Maybe if you don't have a dog, get another dog. Go on adventures. Go camping. Like, go see mountains. And when the Star comes up, it's kind of like this really serene, beautiful, like clarity that you're looking for, that you really, really need to have. So the 9 of Pentacles is like, find abundance in learning new things about who you are. Find abundance in like exploring new options and exploring new places. Like, don't be such a hermit. The 9 of Wands is like, they're definitely your guides. Like, these 3 dogs are like your animal guides. They're with you all the time. What's coming to mind is this this image that I saw that this artist drew, that it's this girl, she buries her cat, and the cat's spirit comes out and is like rubbing against her legs and like trying to play with her, but it can't. And so death comes to the cat and is like, are you ready to pass on? And the cat's like, no, like, I live for her. And death is like, but you're not alive. And the cat is like, well, then I'll continue to protect her in death. So that's what these dogs are doing for you, is they're continuing to protect you and be there for you and try to bring you like hope and excitement even in their passing. So they're not gone. They're still with you. But they're trying to
I've heard that a couple times. They're around me all the time, and they help me and my wife. And
they want you to like get out, do more, like channel their energy, which is that energy of like, when you think of a dog, dogs, first of all, they don't have a sense of time. So you could be gone for 5 minutes, and when you come home, they're going to be like, oh my God, you've been gone for years. Where have you been? And they just miss they're so excited and they're so happy. And then like dogs are like, they wake up every day with this like motivation, even if it's just to go to the backyard, you know, they want you to channel that energy that they're trying to like rub up on you. Like I can see them like wagging their tails and like running around you and like trying to get you to like throw a toy for them. And they're like trying to like wake you up in the morning. It's like, hey, hi, we're ready. Are you ready? You get out. They want you to explore. And if you haven't gotten a dog, they want you to adopt a dog. Like go to the shelter and wait until you find a dog that like connects with you, because then that's a physical shell that they can also jump into whenever they really need to get your attention.
I still have the last of their brothers.
Yeah.
So I've still got Igor with me. He's the last of the 4.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep these out because this message feels like really beautiful, really powerful. I'm going to keep the cards out. Hit me up on Instagram, and that way I can send you the picture of what they look like so you can see the visual of this message.
And by the way, the Instagram handle is in the description, so you guys can go in there. Or anyone that got a reading today or would like to chat with Addy and find out more about what she does, what she offers, you can get into Instagram and get that from the description. You'll have it with you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Addy. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Thank you, Green Man.
All right, thanks, guys.
Ciao.
Thanks, bye.
So we have another.
I'm reading some of the comments. Yeah, you have another caller?
No, not yet, but I just want to tell them about the funny story when I told you about the fact that I got hiccups during the episode yesterday.
Yes.
And it was like, so, and actually I had it all day. And what did you tell me? I was like, really?
So let's say, you know, you're trying to get something done. It's not something that regularly happens to you. I'm assuming that hiccups don't regularly happen to you, right?
No, this was out of the blue.
Yeah. So when that happens, it's like you're trying to, your spiritual self is trying to get like an energetic download. Whether it be from the cosmos, from your spirit team, you know, it could be from your higher self. It'll cause a disruption in your life that doesn't allow you to get anything else done until you kind of like just give into it and listen. Clearly you didn't give into it.
No. As a matter of fact, I started the podcast and I said, hey guys, you know, I might get hiccups during the podcast, and not 2 to 3 minutes later, it just started, and it was bananas.
So that's really, really cool. So while we're waiting for someone else to come in, I wanted to touch up on crystals for people who don't know about crystals and think that they are just wrong. They're not. So let's take a moment to kind of like talk about that. So my favorite crystal to talk about, which I 1000% believe is an alien crystal, is Elmwood. So Elmwood is a mine, I believe. I don't know I think it's in like Tennessee or something. It starts with a T. I don't remember. But Elmwood is a mine that is only there, and so it caused so much disruption that the people who now own it don't allow the miners to pull this crystal from the mine. Like it's illegal to mine for this crystal. They only mine, I think it's iron from there. So the miners like sneak out these crystals in order to bring them out on the market. When they do find out that miners are trying to mine this, they completely explode. Like they destroy this crystal in the mine so that it doesn't. Yes, you can call in, Andre Ortiz. Yes, you can totally call in. I'm just spewing information because I can.
Oh, you got to watch out for that guy.
Oh no!
No, I'm kidding. He's okay. He's okay. He's funny. We'll see if he calls in. But tell us about these alien crystals.
So, if you really think about the energy that goes into that, is that like you are either completely, you're exploded, you're like destroyed, or you are smuggled out and put into the hands of crystal lovers, right? So you are either owned or you are destroyed. So you like really like let that soak in as a human being, how you would feel energetically. So that's the life that these crystals have lived for many, many years. Just don't say anything about math.
Yeah.
I'm not very good.
Actually, yeah. Andre's on right now. Dre's on right now. And by the way, he loves talking about things in kilometers and meters. So if you can explain stuff to him in that language, he'll love it.
No, thanks.
No. Is that a joke that he doesn't actually? Because I don't. Hi.
Okay, I have a question, and I don't know how how it pertains to paranormal, but it's just kind of like, I guess, like a life question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, those are great.
Oh yeah. Do you know anything about Iraqi dinars?
No.
Well, that would be my question.
Okay.
My question would be: Is the Iraqi dinar is going to revalue? Totally out of left field, I know.
I have no idea what that is or what's happening.
Well, what's
with that.
a dinar? Explain to her what's a dinar.
It's money. A dinar is just it's like a peso, like American dollar, but it's from Iraq.
Oh, I have no idea. I could not tell you.
It's their currency.
100%, that is 100% not in my field of expertise. When it comes to money,
she's not the stock market. That's what she's trying to tell you. Okay.
I didn't ask you about the Cowboys. See, I held back.
Yeah, when it comes to stuff like that, I don't like to tune into that kind of energy. One, because money is energy, right? And so if you start to chase it or you try to like really get it to come to you, it runs away. It's kind of like a woman. If you chase a woman, she's like, oh my God. But if you keep her alone, then she's like, oh my God, why aren't you giving me attention? That's like how money is. And so, and also with, anything with gambling, I just don't like to be wrong. So for that reason, I don't tap into it. I really just don't like to be wrong. So I don't want to gamble myself with spirituality and then like be wrong. I don't like it.
No, that's understandable. But Dre, I'm sure you have like a million other questions you can ask at this time and point in space-time continuums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then.
All right, just put Davina on. She has a question. I just know it.
Go put Davina on. She has a question. Which one? What? Oh, no. Okay, so, the moon. I know. Do you know anything about moons and aliens? The moon and aliens?
The moon and aliens, or just the moon?
Yeah.
Or just the moon?
Both. Are there aliens on the moon?
Are there aliens on the moon? There are aliens everywhere, my dude. Like, there are aliens here on Earth walking around with us dressed up as human beings. There are aliens everywhere. Like, they're insane and otherworldly and, like, next fucking level. Like, they're everywhere. Like, that's why they show themselves to you, and then all of a sudden you're like, is that there? And it's like a tree, because they can be a tree if they want to be a tree, like, they are everywhere. Like, if they can disguise their vehicles, for example, as a cloud, or they can go from being seen to completely being not seen, like, they can be wherever they want to be. I feel like they're so very much in complete control of us, and they're just watching. They're just curious of who we are and what we're doing, and how we choose to open up and learn, and whether we destroy ourselves or not. Like, they just want to know, like, how smart or how stupid we can be.
So you say you're in contact with an alien, right?
I mean, I don't want to say like, yeah, I've contacted an alien, but I feel 100% like I very much feel like I have spoken to aliens. I feel like I believe that my best friend is an alien. She thinks she's an alien. She gets some otherworldly kind of information, and she can do some otherworldly shit. Like, what I can do is cool. What she can do is insane. Maybe I'll talk her in. Maybe if you're down, I would love to get her onto the podcast.
Oh, that would be fantastic. So here's a question, Addy, for like, let's say for Dre. So we know Dre at the moment doesn't have a specific question, that we we can tackle with the cards. So, could you do like a general tarot card pull and just hit them with whatever you get?
Yeah, there you go. That's good.
Okay. Okay, so hold on. Let me take a picture of this spread really quick for, I think it was for Green Man.
Yes.
In case he hits me up on Instagram, I have the actual.
Yeah, you might get a message from Tom Selleck.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right, let's see.
When you see Tom Selleck, you're going to laugh.
Yeah. See, Dre, we're going to hook you up right
what's
now.
What's she doing?
I think your future sounds rough right now.
It does sound rough.
Okay. I think one of it, did the card flip, my dude? No, it didn't. Okay, so, ooh, your reading is like really intense. Do you want me to put you on blast right now? I don't know if you want me to put you on blast.
Dre, it's up to you. You make the call, as they say.
Go ahead.
Oh boy.
Okay. Man. Okay, so these are cards that I really don't like seeing on the table. Like, they make me really sad. So the first card is the Five of Swords. So the way that it's depicted, gosh, okay, Manny, right? Manny, we really need to find a way to once you get on with video, this would be really great to show on video, because I'm telling you, when I say that the imagery on these cards are insane, they're insane. Okay, so the Five of Swords, right, is the imagery on this deck, because all tarot decks have different imagery depending on the person who decided to create the actual deck. So this deck called to me for this podcast. I don't know if it was because you guys needed to hear it, or if the deck was just like, let me drag them. This is my dragging deck, so this is the one that just comes out when it really needs to yell at you. So the Five of Swords is a fighter with two of its legs plucked. So the Five of Swords is like, stop bullying yourself, basically. It's like, why do you find ways to pluck your own legs off, right? And then we have the Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords is 6 swords that are like dug into the ground and 1 sword that is like pointing up into the cosmos. The Seven of Swords is like, if there are things, maybe it's not even you plucking your own legs off. Maybe it's things from your past that continue to like yank at your legs until they are ripped off, that you haven't dealt with, or you don't want to deal with, or you have buried so deep down, like you just don't want to face them ever again, because you're like, maybe if I just get rid of them, if I bury them deep enough into the ground, they'll never come up. But that's the joke with the cosmos, is that like earthquake can happen, flood can happen, rain in Florida can happen, and everything that you put into the ground will come right back up. So those are the first 2 cards that come up. The next card is the Nine of Cups and the Hierophant. So the Nine of Cups is actually really pretty. It's 9 cups on a hammock, and there's like this really beautiful sunset. So it's like the energy shift. So the first 2 cards are kind of like, there's something that you need to deal with and face. There's something that like needs some light shed on it, because we have the Nine of Cups showing up as like this really bright sunset with these blues and these greens, and it's really beautiful. It's almost like you're on vacation. Like, maybe you should plan a vacation so that there could be like a little bit of silence, so that you can deal with these things, dig them up, and really face them and be like, fuck you, like, you're not going to harm me anymore. You're not going to come up. You're not going to be the reason why I project or I get triggered. And then we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant, the imagery for this is a really big mushroom with 2 little mushrooms beneath it. And the Hierophant speaks of like a mentor or learning, or like maybe you just need to get different perspectives on something. But I feel like the Hierophant plays really heavily into these things that are like buried in your psyche. Like, there was definitely something that happened that you have buried really deep in your psyche that finds a way to show itself in different parts of your life. Like, maybe it's not like, I don't even want to bring up traumatic experiences, because that's just not okay. But like, you know, maybe it's something that like bothered you in one really obvious way, and then like little things in your life will trigger it, and it'll annoy you, or it'll put you off, or it'll be like why you react a certain way. But once you deal with those things, whatever those things may be, it's going to be very pleasant for you. You'll realize that you can breathe better, and you'll see things in a different light. Like, you'll see things Instead of them being so gray, you'll see the color in them. And so the Hierophant comes in as like channel that energy of a mentor, channel that energy of someone who would teach you or who would open the books to you so that you can see, get a different perspective. The Hierophant is also like big daddy energy. Like the Hierophant is this big mushroom protecting these little mushrooms that are still growing, that are still learning, that are still like, you know, bringing themselves out. And when you think of mushrooms too, they are like they are their own ecosystem. They are their own like entity. So the Hierophant is very much like be your own daddy, like be your own boss. Like you like if there is something, maybe there's something that you really want to do, or maybe there's like maybe a business that you want to open up, or something along those lines. I feel like there's something big that you've been wanting to do that you have talked yourself out of doing, or talked yourself out of exploring, or maybe even a place that you've talked yourself out of going to because of something from your past that was like, you can't do it, or you can't get there, or you can't whatever. And the Hierophant is like, no, like you are the big mushroom in this, and like you are the one who gets to create like this your own ecosystem kind of deal. So those are the 4 cards that came out for you. I don't know if that resonated or not, but the message is kind of strong here. Like, let go of the past, or let go of whatever is pulling your legs off, because it's holding you back from this really dope experience of life.
Interesting.
Dre?
Yes, that's very interesting.
That's right. Just do it. You got to get out there like Nike says. Just do it. Don't worry about it. Just do it.
All right. Yeah, to see what's been bothering me in the past, I look at it and go forward.
Yeah. It's not something that you have to necessarily talk about here on a podcast. Obviously, not like nobody wants to just like talk about their past shit. Nobody wants their their dirty laundry aired out. But again, you can hit me up on Instagram if there's anything that you want me to kind of like dig more into. Let me know. I can pull some more cards. I'm only doing 3 to 4 cards here. But you know, if there's anything that you have questions about, let me know, and I'll take a picture of this if you want to see the imagery there as well.
Cool. Yeah, I want to see the imagery too.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
All right, Dre.
All right.
I hope we open some doors for you. Namaste.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right. Check you out later.
Have a good one.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, and so before we started the podcast, after we had that debacle the first time, I did speak to Addy about going on the YouTube channel to do this live. That we can see the cards, we can see the crystals, and because this is really visual, isn't it? Yeah, so that'll be fantastic. So I think we could take one more phone call. There's someone that is dying to get in, so we will see if they call in the next few moments. But we were talking about crystals. So what do you? You want people to keep their minds open that it's not just rocks.
Right. So let's look at crystals as energy, right? So when we think of like the cosmos, if you believe in aliens, then you have to believe in astrology. You have to believe in the energy that exists in our planet. You have to. There's no way you believe in aliens and you don't believe in the rest. It would just be ridiculous and contradicting. So look at energy in our planet. For example, when the moon is full, there are more tsunamis, there are more waves. There's a shift in how human beings act because we are like 70 to 80% water, and the moon has a very big pull on water. So when you look at crystals, right? So crystals are formed, from the earth. Very beautiful, very insane, but they all hold their own individual energy. And so when I talk about Elmwood, so Elmwood is like what I think of as the alien crystal. It shuts off my computer. It shuts off my phone. It can clear the energy in an entire building, like a very tiny piece of this crystal. And so when you look into the history of when they started, destroying these, like there was explosions in the mines and they were destroying these crystals. It's because these crystals, when they started forming and they were starting to be mined out, there were all these weird like catastrophes that were happening around the mine, right? And I personally believe that it was these crystals causing that chaos, because they were like we need to be dispersed. So now they just completely destroy them, or they are smuggled out of the mines by people who are like, I am willing to risk my job for these crystals. Elmwood fluorite and Elmwood calcite are two of my favorite. It's called Stellar Beam calcite and Elmwood fluorite. You guys can do your own research on it on Google. There's not like an excessive amount of information that comes out. It's just dispersed in the crystal community because we obviously are in contact with the people who go in and mine these crystals. But they hold a lot of energy. So I actually have Elmwood fluorite and Elmwood calcite with me right next to the computer. So when you told me that that the podcast wasn't working, I was like, well, it's because I brought out my two most energetic crystals along with my, my destruction of anything that's electrical. These are also very electrical disrupting. They will turn off your phone. They will turn off your computer. They'll turn off the lights in your house. So a lot of people, when they purchase it, they leave it in the box, like in a closet for years before they ever take it out and let it fully into their home, because it's just such a powerful crystal. I can go on and on about crystals. I love them so much. I'm hoping to eventually start a YouTube channel based on each crystal and their history, their properties, how they get their colors, how different formations can change how they release energy. So if you guys have any questions on that, let me know. I'll talk more about that, but I don't want to blabber on about crystals. But they 100% connect you to your past. They can connect you, like Lemurian, for example, can connect you to your Akashic records. Akashic records are the records of your past lives. My record holder is this really cool drag queen guy.
Oh, there you go.
He showed me two of my past lives, which is really cool. But Lemurian, the way that the crystal is created is it has all these little lines. It almost looks like a barcode, and that holds records. So a lot of crystal people, when you go to purchase this crystal, you'll see that it says record holder, record something. It's because some of these crystals do hold records to your past lives or just the life of human beings in general that you can tap into, which is really, really dope.
So listen, if you are, let's say you have a tarot card reading for someone, or you come up with, through mediumship, you come through some information, is there ever a point where that person can utilize a crystal to enhance their lives or enhance what's happening to them, or something that might have come through in the message?
Oh, totally. So all of the crystals that I have are, if a different use one way or another. These crystals all serve a different purpose. So there's a thing called crystal grids. So I'm sure you guys have seen, old people have that, those little napkin thingies that they look kind of like lace almost, where they all have different designs or whatever. I forget what those are called. But some people use that. Some people use an actual grid where it's this big, maybe it's wood or maybe it's metal. It's like a plate, and it'll have all these different circles and different points where the circles connect, where they can put the crystal on those little connecting points. And then in the very middle, they'll put their intention, or they'll put the crystal that is best fitting to kind of shoot that intention out of the middle, while the outside crystals energize that energy into the middle. So all crystals have different things. There's crystals for self-love. I have fluorite. Fluorite is really good for absorbing negative energy and then dispelling it. So a lot of people who own fluorite will actually notice that their fluorite will just be sitting there and just crack in half, because it's soaked up so much negative energy that the crystal itself just shatters. I have a piece that showed up in shipping. All the other pieces were in perfect condition. This one was perfectly cut in half. So really? I put that one, and so I put that one inside of my one of my plants, because when you put crystals in plants, it helps them grow as well. So yeah, there's crystals for everything, guys. There's crystals for everything. You're trying to get a new job. Citrine is really good for money. Citrine is my birthstone. Citrine is good for abundance, opportunity. I have a really big piece of citrine that I keep at my workspace, and ever since I got that piece, I'm telling you, my income has tripled. I also do candle magic. Candles are really dope. I do sigils. Sigils are basically, so let's say there's like an entire message of things that you want to create. I would basically take that message and shorten it into a symbol that you can put on your phone screen. You can put as the background on your computer. You can frame it until, whatever it is that you wanted to manifest comes true. Or I even kind of carve it into your candle. And you light that candle. By the time the candle has burned out, that manifestation will have happened. So that's cool too.
Yeah, that's fine. There is like so many things that people can, I guess, utilize to help them out throughout their lives, really, that are not so much everyday physical things like doctors and pills and all this other stuff. They can use things from the metaphysical, things from the paranormal, well, what people see as paranormal, to really help them. Now, I do have someone that's called a few times, and I've actually let the phone call not go through because I'm sorry. Yeah, we were listening to the crystal. I didn't want to cut you off again, but I wanted to make sure that you got that information out, and I'll go ahead and let him know he's good to go and call in. But yeah, crystals, I just, I was looking on your Instagram and I saw these great crystals. Don't ask me what the name are, but do people sometimes get there's an attraction with the color and the, I guess, the crystallization and the shapes and things like that? Is that something that...
So a lot of people will feel called. So That's what we say in the metaphysical world. If you feel called to it, it's yours. So you'll see a crystal and you're immediately attracted to it, or you just need to have it. You don't know why. Maybe it's not even the prettiest crystal in the world. Maybe it doesn't have very pretty colors, but you just feel so attracted to it. And it's because it wants to be with you. There's something that it needs to teach you, or an energy that needs to be brought to your space. So there are even crystals for, you said this is a family-friendly thing, but there are crystals even to enhance experiences in the bedroom. There are crystals to enhance flavors in the kitchen. There are crystals that are really good for making sure that the people that enter and exit your home don't leave bad energy, because everyone on here will know there are those people that are I don't like that you're having a good life, or you're having a happy relationship, and they're just envious and they leave that negative energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So our caller has joined us. Hey, what's going on?
Hi, it's Alien Beer here.
Alien Beer. By the way, that's his name, Addy. That's his Discord name, Alien Beer.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. I'm from New York. I've known about crystals and energies. I've used a couple of them just to ward my house off. And speaking about how those crystals that you were talking about that cracked, and I've had crystals disappear.
Oh, really? Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, they were quartz crystals. I don't know what kind of energy.
Quartz.
Yeah, quartz.
Have you ever heard of the Fae, which are little bastard fairies that come into your space, and they will take your left sock or your small crystals if they're tumbled and small enough to fit in the palm of your hands. Those little shits will take them.
Or random objects.
That's definitely
you hide them, and then all of a sudden they're back again.
Yep.
Those
don't mess with
damn freaking fairies.
I can't deal with them. Some people will do a whole little small gardening area in their home to dedicate to them so that they don't steal your stuff. But I don't even want to mess with them, because I know that they'll just take more stuff from me. So I'm just you know what? I'm not even going to give you attention. Just take the stuff that you want to take.
I've got more problems with turkeys, deer, and woodchuck than to worry about fairies.
Yeah.
So, Alien Beard, so you're saying that all your crystals disappeared, or just the quartz?
I had 2 crystals that I put energy into that disappeared, and several others stayed. But there was only just a couple that literally disappeared.
So what happens is that quartz is considered, we in the crystal community, we call it a master crystal. So a master crystal is usually some sort of crystal that has many different uses, and quartz is really good for like enhancing the energy of the crystals around it. Quartz is also really good for cleansing out your other crystals. I love quartz. I am a hoe for quartz. I have all kinds of quartz. I love it, love it, love it. I love it. So it's very...
Yeah, I just put some positive energy and healing energy into those quartz crystals, and mainly I use them to put a barrier around my house, and I put them in all corners of the house. And several of them, like I said before, just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's a question, since you brought that up. So, why do you feel the need to put the crystals around your home?
Oh, I've been dealing with negative entities for a while. I don't know if you believe in this, going crazy, in the devil, demonic entities, or I don't believe in the devil or anything like that, but there's these probably interdimensional entities or something that can get in you and change your mindset. I don't know. And I was just trying to protect against anything negative, you know, any negative thought pattern entities or whatever. Is that too crazy?
Yeah. No, not at all. So I have a group of friends. All four of us work together. We are basically like the four elements. So I'm fire. My alien friend is earth. My other friend, who is amazing with talking to dead people, I believe she is air. No, I think she's water. And then I have another friend who works with sound. She bangs on a drum, and when she channels messages,
she
it comes
bangs on the drum.
Really insane. She bangs on the drum. No, it's beautiful.
I play a lot of guitar, so does that scare away negative entities?
Well, it depends on the vibration that you are using. So if you are like playing your guitar with the intention of using that sound vibration to get rid of negative energy, then yes, it'll work. If you're just playing the guitar to play,
your conscious thought with the vibration of the sound.
Yeah. You just have to make sure that you're going in with an intention. Like, I'm going to play this to dispel negative energy now. And then, like, you play whatever it is that you feel called to play.
So wouldn't you also say that your conscious thought plays a big role in all of these concepts? When you use your thought energy to put that positive energy into these crystals, you just positively think that, yes, this will happen.
Yeah. So for me, okay, so again, so I'm very big with electrical energy. So I have an iPad. I will write whatever it is that I want with the iPad, and then I will put the crystal on top of it.
Stick a fork in the socket, and you're okay?
No, but I use...
had to make a joke.
Yeah, so I use, whatever. I write down on my iPad, because my iPad is like one of my biggest things. I also use light language. Light language is something that I got from many, many past lives ago. And I can portal into this tomb. I don't want to go into too much details. It's very personal. But in that tomb, basically, all my past lives have written different light language on the walls. So I can go in there. There's many, many different colors. And I've used writing as a way to leave notes for myself in each different life.
So are you talking about the astral plane?
Not even just the astral plane. No, I mean like actual portaling. So you're going to meditation, you open up a portal, and you can go to wherever it is that you are setting the intention to go into. So that portaling will help with talking to dead people.
So basically lucid dreaming you're talking about?
No, it's not. You're completely awake. So part of my coaching discusses this. It's you're in meditation. You're in a meditative state. But you are completely awake, completely aware, but your body is almost like on autopilot, like it knows to breathe. It knows to move in a certain way, whatever. You leave your body on autopilot. It's kind of like, imagine when you like when you stare at something, but you get stuck, you don't even know what you're looking at, but you can't move your face. Like for some reason, you're just like stuck looking into that space, and you're just like, you can talk and your body will react however it needs to react, but you're stuck staring at that space.
Well, that generally happens when you get really stoned.
Okay, see, I've never been stoned. I've never done any drugs unless alcohol counts, but I've never done any drugs because I feel like I'm already high all the time. Like, I don't know. I feel like I would be the opposite on drugs. Like, I would just, like, go to zero. Like, I would go to sleep.
Some strains of weed, you feel like that.
So, Addy, just discussing what Alien Beer was experiencing, is there a specific crystal besides quartz that might be able to help him with that negative influence he's feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love fluorite for that. I love rose quartz. Rose quartz is just a really loving, healing energy. I love shungite and black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is bomb. Whenever I go on anything, like I have a big chunk of black tourmaline with me right now. I like to keep it in my space whenever I'm on a phone call or on Instagram Live, a podcast, anything. I like to just keep it there because the energy comes through when you are talking on the phone. They come through when you're online. It comes through when you're in person. So I love to keep black tourmaline or shungite in my space at all times. Also, sage and palo santo, which aren't crystals. They are, sage is sage. It's an herb. Palo santo is basically like a piece of wood. It smells like a campfire. Like yeah, sage. Sage, a lot of people say sage smells like BO. I don't think sage smells like BO. I feel like sage
smells like sage.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't like it. So the alternative to it is Palo Santo, but sage completely obliterates negative energy, and Palo Santo adds in positive energy. So if you clean out negative energy...
Are there any other herbs besides sage, like oregano, thyme?
Oh, heck yeah. So I use
basil.
I use rosemary, and I use basil leaves, like all the dried out ones that you can find at the grocery store.
I know Native Americans used to use tobacco also.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you have to make sure that if you're burning or smoking tobacco or whatever, that you're doing it with the intention
of... Just smoke some tobacco, you're fine.
Or, yeah, whatever it is. I mean, I've never had a cigarette in my life. I've never had any of that stuff in my life, so I don't really know. But if you are doing it, make sure that you do it with the intention of dispelling negative energy. Again, all these things are things that you can literally find on Pinterest or you can find on Google. Just look up like herbs that dispel negative energy or crystals that absorb negative energy. That's like the easiest way.
You just need a really big ass fucking crystal to just everything.
Kind of. I put salt at the entrances of my home.
I'm the biggest crystal on earth.
It's like, I mean, people gonna hate, haters gonna hate. But,
Right.
There's
so Alien Beer...
action you can do.
Yeah, so Alien Beer, there's your prescription for getting rid of that negativity. And,
big-ass crystal, lots of herbs.
Yep, big-ass crystal, whatever you can find. If it fits in your home, stick it in there. But thank you for calling.
Thank you for having me. I'll take off and let you finish. Fantastic.
You can enjoy the crystals. Don't let them disappear either. Put some GPS tracking on them.
Maybe the fairies have it.
That's right. All right. Thank you for calling again. Ciao.
Take care, man.
Bye. Well, Addy, that was fantastic. And hey, maybe he'll take your information to heart, because he's already getting crystals, so he's got to have some kind of knowledge about it, right? He's not just doing it for lack of a better term, for fuck's sake. But anyway, listen, it's time to end the podcast. I really enjoy, and the guys enjoyed you having on here. You're fantastic, energetic. It comes through the podcast, and we would love to have you back, especially when we get on YouTube. So
yes.
Now, you do have on Instagram where folks can actually look at some of these crystals you're talking about, right?
Yes, I do. So Sun and Moon Gems is my my crystal account, and at the Sagittarius Witch is my tarot account and my spiritual voodoo account as well.
Fantastic. Listen, also, if you have a chance and you want to join us on Discord, please do so. I'm sure the guys would chat it up there, and you might be able to share some of the crystal insight with them there. But we would definitely love to have you back. I'm glad you came on. Addy, a.k.a. Spawn of Nightmare. If you want to reach Addy, please look at the description. We have both of the Instagram accounts named in there, so you can go in there, follow her, send her questions, ask for coaching if you need to. If you have a really situation that you really need some answers on, and you're not getting it anywhere else, I guarantee you Addy will be able to get that information for you one way or another. Addy, any last words before we end the episode today?
Wow. I can talk forever, guys. It's part of being a Sagittarius. My gosh. I really hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your time until we come in contact again. Please hit me up on Instagram. I will do my best to get my alien friend on here. She's amazing and has an English accent, which is, I mean, we all love that. And make sure that you do everything with positive intention moving forward. We are in some really weird, dark, shifty times. So, just make sure that you're being positive and ignore the people who are being negative in your life.
Exactly. And also, too, let's add to it, when you're getting information, don't be negative about what you're getting. You ask for it for a reason. So just take it in. If you need to analyze it, do so, but do it quietly internally. Addy, again, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to cut it off. We'll be back next weekend with Chris Garcia. I'm sorry, choking up here. Chris Garcia. And I hope that wasn't something coming up, Addy. You see, I knew you were going to say that. Oh, my God. I can't do this. Thank you guys for listening in. We'll be back next week. And ciao.
Bye, guys.